Alright, what's up guys? So today, a bit slow, haven't really done any work on the four-wheel drive or the drift car or the weather. It was pouring down most of the day, so it's actually like 5 o'clock at night now, so the day's almost over. For those of you that have been here from the start, you remember the Vagina on wheels. The rest of you probably just know them as a Honda CR-V. So here's a Honda CR-V. So what we're going to go do is the head unit doesn't go on it, and the brand is 4U. So you can tell that that has some pretty high quality standards. Like I'd say that'd be up there with Sony's and you know, Sony's. So it's just a shit head unit, and it's just fucked out for whatever reason. So I got an older Pioneer. It is pretty old, but you know, it's going to work. And we're going to pull that out and wire in a Pioneer radio. So I'm going to show you guys how to wire in a head unit if anyone needs to know how to wire in a head unit. I've got multimeters and all that sort of stuff, so I can do it properly, but being that this is Built Broke Garage and some of you at home might need to wire up a head unit without having a multimeter, and who wants to go out and buy one for one job, I'm going to show you how to tear it back down to basics and do it with just a few simple items from around the house. A AA battery and pulling a brake light out for a test light, and yeah, we'll get to it. If you didn't see this was actually a Marvy. We cut the roof off it, turned it into a double cab ute, so hit subscribe, go back and check that one out. Alright, so I do have a multimeter and volt sticks, although that only works for AC. It just tells you when, you know, you're close to power, but it only works for AC. So I've got a multimeter, so I could use that, but in the spirit of building it broke, I've got this interior light out of a Beamer. Got this battery charging over here just to prove that it works. And we have light. So I'm going to use this as my test light. So basically this is going to be hooked up to the wiring inside there, and I'm going to use it to find my switched ignition and my constant power source. And I'm going to take the battery out of this, hook a couple of wires to it, and I'm going to use that to find all the speaker wires, because all the speaker wires are random as colours. You can never tell what's what in factory wiring when you're doing speakers. So we'll take the battery out of there, hook a couple of wires to it, and then what you do is you sit there and probe all the wires until you hear static out of one of the speakers, tape those wires off, there you go, there's your speaker. So we'll get into it. Here's a tip if you haven't even got wire strippers. You can either use your teeth or a knife and just shave it, or you can just light it, pull, and see you later. Light it, see you later. Alright, so instead of the multimeter checking for constant power and 12 volts and all that, we've got the test light out of the BMW parts pile. Basically all the interior ripped out of the BMW cheap drift car build was all just sitting over, well, I've taken a lot of it to the dump, but there was this left over anyway. So it's a test light, so that's keeping in tradition of the old Built Broke ways. And what is inside this duct tape is a 9-volt battery, and not bad bloody tape effort if I, it looks pretty trick. So the wires run up there onto the terminals of the 9-volt battery. I've wrapped tinfoil around the copper of the wires just to give it a bigger conducting area, so like I won't have to push them. It should just always be 9 volts out of these wires, and good contact is the word I was looking for. What I also did was chop one wire a bit shorter than the other, just because they'll be like waving around and want to touch each other and short circuit the battery, so there's just a bit less chance they'll do that now. But just to prove this all works, it's going to be dim because it's only a 9-volt battery, not 12 volts, but boom. So there's power. So this is going to be our test light, and this is going to be our speaker finder. So we can basically isolate each speaker and then tape those wires up. And I've got a Vivid somewhere, I write right, left, left rear, Alright, so this should be pretty simple to pull out. Alright, fuck, after taking all this off around here to get 2 screws through here, fuck, it comes out a piece of piss. I didn't actually realise it was screwed to the back of there. Normally this assembly here is screwed to there and then this black bit just goes clip, but not in this. Alright, got the head unit out. Here's the plug. For the purpose of the video, I'm just going to go through, chop them all, and we're going to use our test lamp to find the constant power and the switched power. The constant so it remembers your radio station, and the switched is so it turns on when you turn the key on. And then we're going to use the 9 volt battery to go through and find the speaker wires. You see what I mean about, like this one here, 2 green coming out of the head unit, so that'll probably be, I think those are normally the rears, so say that's the left rear, green and then green with black stripe. And then you come over to the car and it's blue with yellow trace and grey with white trace. Like they don't match up at all. The traces are different colours, the solids are different colours. So I'll show you the 9 volt battery trick once we get into it. Alright, so I've cut the other head unit plug off there. This is the plug off the head unit that I'm putting in. It's nothing flash, but it's Pioneer and at least it goes, so I'll have a radio. None of the plugs on this aftermarket head unit, none of the wire colours actually match up with anything factory in most dashboard looms. So I'm going to have to go through it now with that test light and that battery and just decipher what everything is and tape them up. And I'll get a Vivid so I can note down what they are. This would be quite an awkward area to be stripping wires with a pair of pliers right now. Alright, stripped all my wires. Now the first wires we'll look for is power, so we can get them out the way so I don't blow any fuses or short circuit some shit. There's a black wire in here, safe to say that's earth. So we'll wind that around one set of me built broke test light. Then hold the other end, turn the key on so the radio would be on. Other shit's running, hang on. There you go. There you go, alright. So we found a power. Now if I turn it off, alright, so that's our switched. So now I'll name yellow with a red trace, ignition. Right, now we've got to find our constant, so there should be another wire in here that has power, whether the key's on or off. Alright, so just found constant. Key's off. Mark that one. Here's our 3 power wires, earth, constant, switched. Now get our 9 volt battery gizmo, start finding some speakers. So we'll just start one wire on there. Oh, look at that. Left rear. You fucking druggo. So now just fucking probe some more. Oh, look at that. This seems too easy. Left front.
Enjoyed ourselves to find it out. But they could have fully turned around and gone, my fuck, it's not supposed to go 140 in the road. We're not fixing it.
So after marking out all our wires, just matched them up. Head unit plug, soldered them, taped them. Alright, so I got it all taped together. So all head unit, or aftermarket head unit wiring codes are usually the same. So red's the switched accessory, So that's the one we found with the light that turns off and on to the key. Yellow's constant, or in this case orange. So that was the wire that I found that no matter where the key position was on, the light was still on. And then black's just ground, and then you just got to find your speaker wires, which I found with the 9-volt battery like I showed you. So now we'll just plug it in, screw it together, and golden. Alright, there it is, all installed. So she's all going. Got that plug running out of here to go to the Navman, which is down there. Haven't looked that up yet, but that'll just go up there, plug in, boom. Actually, we'll check that now. Make sure I plug it in, it doesn't blow the fuse straight away. Well, there it is, all installed, all done, tied up. So this should plug in. Shit. Alright, there it is, all buttoned up, wired up. Got that hooked up to the positive and negative of that, so this comes live when the radio's on. It's all switched, turn the key off, turns off, key back on, turns on of course, but the most important thing is it remembers its last setting. So if you found that of any use, give us a thumbs up, be sure to hit subscribe, help me get to 100 subscribers, and we'll see you in the next one.